Hi everyone, my name is Anabel Mendoza, my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a part of United We Dream, a leading partner of the Defund Hate Campaign. For those of you who are not familiar with our campaign, Defund Hate is led by a coalition of organizations that represent directly impacted immigrant communities, faith leaders, and civil and immigrant rights advocates who are all committed to divesting from immigration and customs enforcement and Customs and Border Protection, two agencies that we know are responsible for tearing apart and harming our communities. As a coalition, we're committed to pushing our elected officials to invest our taxpayer dollars on the issues that matter most to us, such as on infrastructure, education, housing, healthcare, and programs that ultimately create thriving communities. Our members of Congress often say that they care about our communities, but at the same time will continue to fund deadly immigration jails and increased enforcement and border militarization. We know that this is unacceptable, and they must be held accountable to the promises that they've made to our communities by voting against wasting billions of our taxpayer dollars on the abuse and deadly immigration enforcement system. So that's why on August 18th, Defund Hate is kicking off our National Day of Advocacy. On this day, hundreds of our community members and partner organizations all across the country will be meeting with their elected officials to urge them to meet our core demands, some of which include decreasing the money to ICE and CBP, investing in community-based support systems that build our people up and really help all of us thrive, and passing a final negotiated fiscal year 2022 bill that significantly cuts funding for immigration enforcement and border technology infrastructure. We know that ultimately Congress holds the power of the purse, and that means that our elected officials have the ultimate decision-making when it comes to how our taxpayer dollars get spent. But we also know that we deserve to have a say in where our taxpayer dollars go. And right now, we have a critical opportunity to set a precedent by telling our members of Congress that we strongly reject any more funding to immigration enforcement and urge them to do the same. We're demanding our champions and our representatives meet and match the resilience that our communities have shown over decades by defunding hate and defunding ICE and CBP. We'll see you all on August 18th.
Let me begin by thanking everyone at the Defund Hate Coalition, United We Dream, the Attention Watch Network, the National Immigrant Justice Center, and the Southern Border Communities Coalition and the American Friends Service Committee, and all of the advocates, all of our siblings in the movement for convening this important meeting today. You have been and you continue to be on the front lines of this critical work. I count you as close partners, as confidants, as my teachers, as collaborators. I've always maintained that our budget should be a reflection of our values. Under the last administration, continued and increased funding to unaccountable, harmful, rogue agencies like ICE and CBP exacted long-lasting hurt and harm on our communities, from the southern border to Blue Hill Avenue. Over the past few years, ICE and CBP have operated with cruelty and callousness, demonstrating time and again that they do not value the basic humanity of our immigrant neighbors. They have fueled our mass incarceration crisis, torn families apart, and inflicted trauma on our immigrant communities for far too long. That begins with shifting resources away from institutions and agencies like ICE and CBP that perpetuate brutality and injustice, and reinvesting those resources in solutions which promote community safety and healing. Our work is far from over, but I believe in the power of us. And so we'll continue to organize, to mobilize, and legislate to fundamentally transform our immigration system, to restore dignity, fairness, and compassion to our immigration laws, and to finally center the humanity of our immigrant neighbors. Thank you again for joining us today. And I'm so proud to be your partner and your sister in solidarity.
Hi everybody, my name is Rosa Barrientos and I'm part of the Southern Border Communities Coalition and the Defund Hate Campaign. Together we work to ensure no more funding goes towards immigration detention, building a harmful border wall, or to further militarize our border communities. Through these efforts, we strive to stop and repair the deep harms caused to our border communities and borderlands by bad policies. We strongly believe in dignity and justice for all.